Now that I have the area stabilized, I'm going to show you how to use some of the other tools to do some fun things. In this triangle, I think it would be really fun to have this just completely cross-hatched. And I'm using a lighter thread just so you'll be able to see the thread. And with these crosshatch circles, these are very versatile. They're going to be, I'll show you a couple of different uses for them. I want to do 1/2 inch cross-hatching in this area. And I can use my channel locks because this is on a diagonal, so I want to do this up and down. So I can use my channel locks. That's great. But I want to have that even spacing. So I'm going to use the smallest crosshatch circle, like this, and I'll show you how we put it on. You just put it over your foot like that. Let me get this part in the front. Just so I try to keep my fingers out of the way so you can see. And then I just push it down. Now it fits really quite tight. And it needs to fit tight so that it stays right on your foot. If you have a 1/2 inch foot, which most of these are standard, then you can see that that's going to fit. Now you can even just turn it around like this. And I'm going to use, now instead of the foot, I'll be using the outer edge of the circle to do that, that measuring for me. Okay, we're going to just move our machine over here, and I went down and got my thread up. Now notice I always keep those threads. It's so important to hold on to both threads. I'm taking some little stitches on the diagonal as I come down. My left finger is guiding it, and now you see I'm in the right position. I'm right here so that the edge of my crosshatch circle is even with the seam. So I'll put my channel lock on and we'll go across like this over to the seam, and then I'll take the channel lock off and I will stitch, let's make sure it released there, and I will stitch up that seam just until the crosshatch circle is even with the stitching there. Then put my put my channel lock back on, turn it off. And I'm going to just use my finger. I could actually bring my ruler in here because stitching up that diagonal on the freehand is really difficult, but I'm just going to stitch up again until I'm even here, then put my channel lock back on, and here we go across. And now I can take the channel lock off, stitch up, there we go, just until I'm even. So you can see what I'm watching here and how this is working. Over here, and then channel lock off. There's so much to remember. And stitch up to that point. Channel lock off again. And move up. Once you get the hang of it, you can keep your machine on if you have a regulated machine. But if you get confused, then go ahead and stop because you can get confused easy. You've got a channel lock you're dealing with, and you got both sides, and you're just following that side up. Much better than stopping and starting. Over to the side, channel lock off, and then because it's on a diagonal is why I'm having to use that ruler. Otherwise, you would be able to just stitch up that side without any problem. And you can see it's just keeping me perfect with my 1/2 inch stitching, which was the whole idea. And so those are, I don't think I had my channel lock on that. I can see a little waver right there. So my finger wasn't working right. There we go. Now, channel lock on. There we go. I got to quit talking and sew here. There we go. Channel lock on and over, off and up, over and off. There we go. And once I get this completed, I'm going to stitch up here and come down the side so that I'm lined up on my side this way. Now I can use my vertical channel lock and just sew down like this. Take the lock off, sew over, line it up with the edge of my crosshatch circle, and back up, and I'm going to have 1/2 inch squares here. And again, I think I need that, take the channel lock up. I think I need that ruler just to help me on that diagonal, because freehanding a diagonal is not easy to do. And I have not had that great of luck with it, so using a ruler works for me. Channel lock off and down the side just to the edge of the circle, then back on. This is really going to look cool on this quilt. Very, very cool. And just think, you can do this anywhere on any of your quilts. So easily. It's nice when it makes a noise when it's on and off, because then you know it's working. There we go. Down a little bit. Almost finished here, this entire square. And this will be the last time I'll have to use that ruler as I come down, and that will complete my cross hatching there. Oh, and it feels good too, and it's perfect. I love it. You'll have a great time with that. And see, you can use, you can do an 1 3/4 cross hatching. You can do 1 1/2, and you could do it diagonally as well as, using your channel locks. I do want to mention that the crosshatch circles were invented by a gentleman in Australia. His name is Bruce Brown, and I actually traded the copyright on the crosshatch circles with him and the circle star, which you're going to see in a few moments. Since we live in different countries, that worked out very nicely. And of course, you can purchase the crosshatch circles from Linda's Electric Quilters or Rocky Mountain Electric Quilters. Now, in the other sashing area, I want to use, again, these are the little crosshatch circles, and this one is the 3/4, so we're going to see how well that fits inside of this sashing. I think, from looking at it, it should just touch the top of both of the edges of the sashing. So I'm going to start with doing a full circle in there. And so I'll go down and get my stitches. Let's see, I think I'll do it so that the stitches are closer to me here at the bottom. And I'll just take some little stitches here to secure that. And I'm going to have the edge of that right. I'm leaving 1/4 inch of the circle out on this side, like that. And I'm going to go around this template. And these little ones are harder to hold on to, really, than the larger ones. And you have to reposition your hands a little bit as you come around. There we go. And then I'm going to move this over so I center it right through that hole. And I'll have to, again, stitch in the ditch till I get over to the side of it. Come around like this. You can see how you have to work your hands a little bit. And I know I have to stitch in the ditch as I come here. And again, I'll move this over, and this time I will put the edge of my tool right against the outer edge of that circle. And that will be my guide as I come around. Like that. And then again, move it over so that the edge of that is right against the side. Do a little stitch there. And you'll see that what kind of a design that I'm getting as I come across. Again, the edge of the tool right next to that circle. And do that little couple little stitches. There we go. Like that. Couple little stitches here. Move that over so that the tool is right against. You can just use your tools and as your guide. And you know, it gets easier and easier as you work with them. At first they just seem awkward. I think all the tools seem a little awkward at first, but the more you work with them, the more your hands just learn what to do. And it's your left hand really, but your right hand is making sure that you stay right next to the tool. There we go, and we should have one more circle or partial circle because I really don't want to go into that other area. So if I get over on the side like this, I'll just stitch in the ditch as I come down like that so that I can finish off the rest of that little circle. And so you can see what a cool design. You could have them closer together or you could just have them further apart, but it's a very cool design you could do in borders or sashing just using those circles. And remember that these are also a double value because you not only can use them as circles, but then you can add them onto your foot. And I do want to show you how we can do that as well. So now I'm going to roll up and we're going to be using some additional tools so you can see how much fun you can have using all of these tools. But let's take a look first at how this looks on the quilt, and so that you can see that as I'm rolling up. Okay, now I want to show you another use for your cross-hatching circles. Okay, I've chosen to do 1-inch cross-hatching, and so I'm going to put the little crosshatch circle on the machine, and if you just kind of twist it on like that, twists on very nicely. And so I can use the edge. I already have a diagonal line there, and so I'm going to use the edge of that as my guide. Go down and bring up my thread. Just taking some little stitches till I get up to that point, and I will take my straight ruler and put the edge of my ruler right along the edge of the line that I've already stitched. And you can see as I just follow that up like that. You can take your time, and that just stays right against the ruler. And then up here I'll just go over like that. Again, the ruler is going to be right against the edge of my line that I just stitched. Come down here, come down, put that right against the line. And I'll move it up. There we go. You could use your gam guide on this too. And so you can see you can just do all of those diagonal lines and they're all exactly 1/4 of an inch apart. And then you just come back doing it the other direction. Okay, and I do want to just mention that I didn't adjust my hopping foot at all. I know the instructions say to take the hop out of the hopping foot, but you really don't need to do that unless it was really on a high hop, unless you've been doing comforters or denim or something like that. And then you just twist it like that to take it off. So I'm going to come over here and I want to do a circle, but I want it bigger than that one. So I'm just going to take this 1-inch circle that I have and I'm going to twist it onto my foot. And by just using that to go around the circle, you can see that I can increase the sizes of my circle very easily. And there I have a perfect circle, but it's not this size and it's not this size, it's the two of them. So by having these crosshatch circles really increases your capacity to use your straight rulers and also to use your other tools such as your circles.